Hey guys, how you doing? So I've decided to make a little bit of a food prep video. So I had an email off a lady last week who was replying to one of my meals of the week emails, and she was well, it was a bit of constructive criticism, I think, on my part. But she basically said that she loved the meals and she's enjoyed cooking them, and she's followed it for about 6 months, but she's finding it difficult to actually make them and find the time. So what I wanted to do today is just explain something that, you know, I don't spend an hour in the kitchen each evening. I'm quite prepared with my food, so I'll do a lot of the cooking in batch or food prep at the start of the week, and that'll sort of see me for 4 or 5 days. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to explain and show you how to do your full week's food prep in the space of about 45 minutes, okay? Right, so I just wanted to show you a few little bits that I use to sort of make my food prep a little bit easier. The one thing that I always find that takes a shed load of time is cutting up veg. It drives me nuts. So what I do is I buy these £1, I think they're £1.30 from Tesco's. Saves me a bunch of time. So what I'll do is I'll chuck all these into a big Tupperware container, and then I've got pre-cut asparagus and tenderstone broccoli. Got a couple of packets of them. For my carbohydrate source, obviously everyone's diet's a little bit different. Mine's a reasonable amount of carbohydrates, so I need to have carbohydrates for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Again, that's what I do. It might not work for you. You need to work out exactly what your body needs. My body needs a lot of carbohydrates because of my activity level, but I tend to use these Uncle Ben's microwave rice. They're just dead easy, quick, simple to do. Another one that I use is the straight to wok noodles. Again, you can chuck those in a frying pan with a little bit of water. They can be done in 2 minutes. I tend to take them into work and chuck them in the microwave. I'm going to show you how we put all this together in a minute. Another quick one that I'll use is, if I'm ever on the go, just wafer thin chicken strips. Babybel Lights, love these. Okay. Protein yogurts. Oh, I quite like these Arla yogurts. I'm going to be making some desserts a little bit later on if you stick around. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is prepare the greens, because we're going to base all our meals around greens. So we just chuck in the stir fry mix into a Tupperware container. Okay, and then we're going to pop that in the fridge. Okay, this is going to come out later when we're preparing everything. Okay, this will last 4 or 5 days in the fridge, so it's quite handy. There's various different ways you can use it. We're going to keep it proper simple today. Okay, so the main thing that's going to take the most time is your protein source. So we're going to mix it up. I'm going to do 2 things. Okay, so what I'll try and do is have one thing for my lunch and then one thing for my evening meal, so I'm not eating the same thing each day. So we're going to make some turkey burgers. Okay, and then at the same time we're going to make some chicken satay. So the first one we're going to do, get the chicken burgers on the George Foreman. So all you're going to need is about 1 kilogram of turkey mince. Okay, so that's 2 packets, 500 grams. Chuck that into a big bowl. You're going to need 1 full egg. With a bit of shell, fuck it. Okay, jerk seasoning. Got Jamaican spice. Depends how spicy you like it. I like mine quite spicy. Chili explosion. I think it's got some salt and pepper in that as well. So again, just go for however much you want. I'm going to turn my George Foreman on, and then you're going to get stuck in. You can use breadcrumbs, because with me using the George Foreman, the burgers tend to stick together themselves with the egg, so I tend to not use those. It's a little bit easier to put into MyFitnessPal if you don't. Alright, just wash my hands. Right, if you haven't got a George Foreman, get one. Honestly, it's going to save you so much time. It's a worthwhile investment. I mean, this 6 portion one costs 40 quid. They're so handy. It'll save you about 20-30 minutes in the kitchen each day. Best investment you can make. With the turkey burgers, just to save a little bit of time, rather than putting them into individual patties, just chuck it all straight on, and what you can do after, we can just chop it up into individual portions, okay? So heat the George Foreman up, it doesn't need any oil or anything. Chuck the whole mixture on top, and then just pat that down, spread it right across. You want to try and get it about maybe an inch in thickness so it cooks right through. It's only going to take a couple of minutes really, probably 5-10 minutes tops. So once it's spread out nice and evenly, close it back down and wash your hands. Okay, so while the turkey burgers are being cooked, we're just going to make the satay sauce for the chicken. So we're just going to need about 20 grams of peanut butter, splash of soy sauce, and some boiling water. Okay, so just bring the water to a boil, and then you just need a big heaped teaspoon of peanut butter, and then maybe hide it after. Got a little spoon, and then dash of soy sauce, maybe about a teaspoonful, and then give that a mix. That should mix up quite nicely, that, if there's hot water in it. Okay, if you want any extra spice, you can chuck a little bit of chilli in it. Once that's mixed in, just set it aside. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I've just cut my chicken strips into strips about this big, maybe about, you can see that, about 30 gram pieces. Just chuck that in with the satay sauce mix, okay, and then give that a mix up. Okay, you can leave that to one side now, because what we're going to do, we're going to get the turkey burgers out. So, because we cut it into a big strip, what we can do is just pop the George Foreman up, slide it down. Okay, and then what we can do is we can cut it into big strips. So I measure mine out, so I know exactly what I need. So I'm looking at around 60 grams per pound. So I know that's about 60 grams. So what I'll do is I'll just do the rest by eye now. Okay, and you can cut them up, and a bit like a cake, turkey cake. And what I'm going to do is, just for now, I'm going to put them into a Tupperware container. They've already got loads of seasoning on them, so they don't really need too much. And I'm just going to set that aside for a bit. Right, I've given the George a little bit of a wipe down. If you do own one, kitchen towel's the best way to clean it. Saves the mess. Right, so all I'm going to do is I've cut these chicken breasts into strips, so they cook dead quickly. So I reckon around 4 minutes, depending on the thickness of the chicken breast. So again, just pour them all on top. You want to get as much of that satay sauce out as possible, and then just spread them out right across the plate. Doesn't matter if they're touching or not. You can always give them a mix up in a bit. Close the lid. Off we go. Right, that should be about it now. So I'm going to turn the George Foreman off, and then I'm going to bang all this into a Tupperware, and I'm going to put that with the turkey, and then we're going to start prepping. Right, okay, now that everything's cooked, I'm just going to prepare 1 day's worth of food, and then I'll leave the rest of the protein and veg in the big Tupperwares, just because I don't have the room in the fridge to do my whole week. If I would, I could. Right, so I've just got three Tupperwares. I've got breakfast, lunch, and then late lunch. Might have a dinner later. But yeah, generally 3 meals it'd be. So my main carbohydrate source, I'm going to mix it up a little bit so I don't get bored through the day. So for my lunch, I'm going to have Uncle Ben's pilar. So I just use 125 grams of this, which is about half. Again, there's going to be a little bit of guesstimation, but whatever suits your dietary needs. Okay, that's that. And then I'm going to use the straight to wok noodles. Okay, so this is all done in the microwave. I'm going to explain that in a minute. So I'm going to have a full pack of that for my evening meal, because I eat a little bit more after my training in the evening. Okay, right, the veg is dead simple. Right, so for the daytime, I'm going to have a little bit of broccoli and a bit of asparagus. My evening meal is going to be a bit more of a stir fry, so all I need to do is what I prepared earlier. It's dead easy. All I'm going to do, just a handful of that. This is going to be more of a stir fry meal, this one. Okay, chuck that in. Put that to the side. So I'm going to have my turkey with the rice and my peanut butter chicken with the noodles. So I know I need around 50 grams of protein for my lunch, so I'm going to take 2 burgers, place them in there. I want a little bit more in the evening for my evening meal. I need around 100 grams, so I'm going to take a fair amount out of here. I can do this by eye, but it'd be really handy to invest in some digital scales. They're only a tenner, but you get to learn a lot about what's in food. Okay, breakfast is dead simple. So I take a handful of veg. So I've got veg in every meal. It's really important that. Veg, just because I get up at 6:30 in the morning, sometimes even earlier, haven't got time to be fanning around with breakfast. So I get 1 egg, crack it in. A little bit of a classic barbecue seasoning. Sprinkle that on top. And all I'll do in the morning is I wake up, chuck that in the wok, mix it up, get it down me, and I'm off. Alright, so the last thing I need is like sort of like my snacks through the day. So this might vary from day to day, but I quite like the protein yogurts. I have one of these. Sometimes I might crush up a rice cake, but they're always handy to have on. And then a little mini Baby Bell Light, 25 calories a pop I think they are. And then I'll take my, these are quite handy, these little containers, so I'll have I know I need 2 shakes when I'm training, so just double up. Oh shit, girlfriend will have to clean that up. And then close it up and we're done. So I hope that's helped everyone anyway. So I've probably got like 3 or 4 days worth of food here. If you do want to individually portion them up, all this meat should last 3 or 4 days in the in your fridge. But like I say, just making things as simple as possible. Obviously I've cut some of the video down. I've probably spent 40 minutes here, but I'm not going to need to cook now for the next 3 days. If I was to cook every evening, it might be 40 minutes an evening, 40 minutes a meal. It is very time consuming, but if you do have a young family, all you need to do is just double up. You might need a bigger Georgia Foreman. You might have, like, you can probably tell I have a really small kitchen, so I've done it in a little box kitchen. So if you do have a bigger kitchen, you can get more appliances. I'm going to be going through some slow cooker recipes next week that'll really help with your food prep. Another thing is, if you've got a freezer, I haven't got the freezer space, but if I did, I'd freeze everything. So you can make these meals and freeze them just to reheat them. With these individual meals, with these Tupperwares, if I've got it covered, this can be reheated all together. I'll probably do it for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and it's all heated, it's ready to go. So I've got a microwave at work. If not, you can actually eat these cold, it's no problem. Right, well I hope you've all enjoyed the video anyway. Drop me a message if you need any help. And you can also find me at lovefitnesspt.co.uk. Cheers guys.